Thank you for joining us here for the latest on what's happening where you live. I'm Joe Ellison. A Johnson County deputy shot in the line of duty is going to be okay and has already left the hospital. Lieutenant Brent Scott says he was shot in the left groin and the round landed in his upper right femur. Now, this happened on Saturday this past weekend at a home in the Knoxville area. Investigators say they were there to serve a warrant. They also say the suspect, Christina Beazle, fired the shot that hit the deputy from inside her camper trailer. Scott says he's fortunate, and just because you've been hit doesn't mean you're down. You just have to power through.
This was my first time to be shot. You always wonder how you're going to react to that, even as you go through training for your entire career. There's always that question, can I do it? Will I do it when it comes my time? And I'm happy to say that I did. But the reality is it's a mindset, and you've got to get yourself there to protect yourself, to protect those other people around you.
Now, Scott will be back to full duty at the Johnson County Sheriff's Department in 2 weeks. The suspect, Christina Beazle, has been charged with attempted capital murder. She's being held at the Franklin County Jail on $1 million cash-only bond. And Damian Eccles is appealing a judge's ruling that denied new DNA testing in the case of the West Memphis Three. They were accused, you'll remember, of murdering 3 young boys in 1994 and were released in 2011 on an Alford plea, which allows them to maintain their innocence while acknowledging that prosecutors had sufficient evidence to convict them. In June, a judge ruled that new testing does not apply to Eccles, Jason Baldwin, and Jesse Miskelly, saying it's only for people currently in state custody. But Eccles' attorney has released a statement calling the ruling flawed, saying, quote, hundreds of wrongfully convicted have sought relief after they were paroled and were free. Now, this appeal goes to the Arkansas Supreme Court now. So far, a date has not yet been set for the court to examine the case. Now, before we get to other news, let's check in with meteorologist Zach Scott for a look at today's weather. Hey, Zach.
Hey, Joe, we're tracking a hot day here. Temperatures have been building the last few days. They're expected to peak for our Wednesday. We're going to try to get a break from the heat, a relief little break Thursday, thanks to a disturbance moving in. Then we're going to start building those temperatures back up. We're talking about mid to upper 90s for northwest Arkansas. Feels like temperatures today 100 to 105, maybe even area 2 around 106 degrees with the mugginess in the air. We're talking highs today for the River Valley, upper 90s to 102. Heat advisories, feels like temperatures 105 to 108 degrees. Low rain chance in there. A late day stray shower or downpour can't quite be ruled out, but those rain chances are getting better for us, especially for northwestern Arkansas. Closer you are to the state line with Missouri, that'll be as we go into early Thursday morning and into the first half of the day. Showers are going to move in, and they're overall going to shift to the south, but they could be weakening and fizzling out. We're still going to try to get at least an isolated shower for our far southern zones. Again, there we go. Late afternoon to the evening. Stray shower can't be ruled out. Clouds start to increase. Here comes our next disturbance. Scattered showers, light to moderate with some pockets of heavy rain going to try to move in. This is 7:30 a.m., so we could have a few showers impacting parts of the I-49 corridor for your Thursday morning commute. And you see how that batch of rain just kind of weakens. Could try to get a few isolated showers to redevelop with some peak daytime heating. The damage is done. Temperatures 80s to some lower, maybe mid-90s with increasing sunshine from north to south. Again, that's on Thursday. We'll have the latest of that as we get closer. Joe?
All right. Thanks so much, Zach. Well, new data shows the number of new monkeypox cases is doubling about every week. The Arkansas Department of Health says 6 cases have been confirmed in Arkansas as of Tuesday afternoon. Now, New York, Illinois, and California have declared states of emergency to help fight this outbreak. Michael George has more.
In Los Angeles, people lined up for the monkeypox vaccine as the outbreak continues to grow. So far, there have been more than 6,300 reported cases across 48 states.
They were pretty much like boils.
Johnny Rivera of Connecticut says he got infected from an anonymous hookup.
Before I knew it, I had like 20 various sites within a matter of days.
The CDC says the virus is spread mostly through close, intimate contact.
Generally speaking, it is largely sexually transmitted, and it's also very limited in many ways into who is getting infected. It's a very small group of very highly sexually active gay men generally that are getting infected with this.
On CBS Mornings, infectious disease expert Dr. Michael Osterholm said the virus is primarily transmitted sexually, but not always.
For example, if you do have contaminated bedding or towels, or even physical contact, a parent might have a lesion on their arm touching a child.
While the Biden administration is distributing more than 1 million doses of the vaccine, demand is greater than the supply.
People are driving hours to go get their vaccine, waiting long in line in the sun, and sometimes they're turned away.
Symptoms include a rash and skin lesions, fever, and body aches, but it's rarely fatal and resolves in about 3 weeks or so. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Well, with growing concern about school safety, Arkansas is making some revisions. The Arkansas School Safety Commission updated its recommendations to the 2018 School Safety Report. The interim report includes expanding youth mental health training, establishing behavioral threat assessment teams, and making sure there is a culture of compliance at schools. The commission also recommended a $50 million school safety grant program that will be on the agenda for the special session next week. Dr. Cheryl May, the director of the commission, believes that layering safety measures is critical.
We stress the importance of implementing comprehensive strategies, that we make the very, very strong argument that there's not one single thing that a school can do that's going to make that school safe, that it has to be a combination of a variety of things.
The commission's final report will be released in October. And the 123rd annual Tawnytown Grape Festival is now underway. Opening night featured carnival armbands, the Grape Stomp, and live entertainment. Now, that famous spaghetti dinner will be served Thursday through Saturday, starting at 4:30 in the evening. Those dinners cost $12 for adults and $6 for kids. Now, this long-standing tradition is fun for everyone and does a lot of good for the community. Armbands cost $25 through Thursday and $30 on Friday and Saturday. And looking ahead, tax-free weekend is coming up in Arkansas and Oklahoma. And if you haven't gotten your kids' school supplies yet, this is a great time to do it because you won't have to pay sales tax on those items. Tax-free weekend begins this Saturday and ends late Sunday night in Arkansas and will begin on Friday in Oklahoma. The tax-free weekend is mainly for school supplies, clothes, and some electronics that may be needed in the classroom. Well, thank you for catching up with us here with the latest news where you live. I'm Jo Ellison. Have a great day.